This video was sponsored by Backblaze. Hey, happy Friday. This week Samsung's foldable smartphones far outsold the S and Note series that came before it, and I finally got mine. Xiaomi announced their earnings and they had a fantastic quarter, and Tesla announced a really interesting new chip. And since Windows XP is celebrating its 20th anniversary, we decided to make this week's Tech Knowledge quiz all about Windows. I managed to get 19 of the 20 questions right this week. Check out how many you can guess. Links are in the description, and welcome to the Friday Checkout. Okay, my release highlights this week start with Kanye West's brand new speaker thingy. It is called the Donda Stem Player. It is covered in silicon and basically lets you split up and modify songs, isolate vocals, drums and bass, loop and save mixes, etc. Unlike most celebrity products that just lazily slap a logo onto a standard product, this seems like an interesting original concept, and I'd be interested to see how well it works in real life. Now, talking of lazy logo slaps, Diesel has just announced their very first Bluetooth earphones, which I definitely expect to just be a new logo on top of an existing pair. And in slightly more interesting news, Sony announced the mid-range Xperia 10 Mark III Lite as a Japan exclusive, going for a bit over $400. Honor announced the Tab V7 Pro for global markets, which is yet another iPad Pro style Android tablet, but now with a 120Hz screen. And Google announced the Fitbit Charge 5. Now, I'm not into fitness trackers at all, so all I can say that this looks pretty, I guess. To see all of the new releases of the week together with prices and details, check out the full release monitor in the Crowd app and upload your favorites. Links are in the description. Okay, and my first story of the week will be Samsung's brand new foldable smartphones selling like crazy. Samsung have officially confirmed that in the first 7 days, the Flip and Fold drew 920,000 pre-orders in Korea alone. That is about 30% more than the last Note series did, 80% more than the last Galaxy S series did, and more than 10 times as much as the Fold 2 did in similar time frames. Now, to be fair, these are kind of two phones lumped together versus a single series in each case, but we also know the rough split between the two. It's about 70% for the Flip versus 30% for the Fold. And given that, the Flip 3 alone basically matched last year's Note series sales, and the Fold 3 outsold the Fold 2 almost by 3x as well. Now, this of course is only data for a single market, so it's not like super conclusive or anything, but South Korea does tend to set the trends for many things, including premium smartphones, and there's more positive news when we look at things like demographics as well. 49% of Fold buyers and 57% of Flip buyers were either in their 20s or 30s, meaning that young people are disproportionately attracted to the new models, and that's a great sign as they too tend to set the trends for the rest of society's consumption habits as well. According to reports like this from All About Samsung, some consumers are receiving emails about delays for pre-orders for both their phones like the Fold 3 or Flip 3, as well as their accessories like the Watch 4, as everything seems to be flying off the shelves faster than Samsung expected. My Fold 3 has thankfully arrived, and I am preparing a very special video for you guys to enjoy, and I'll also wait more for global sales figures before drawing too many final conclusions, but so far it sure as hell things like both prioritizing foldables over the Note series and the move from Tizen to Wear OS are appearing to have paid off for the company. And that boost in sales came just at the right time for Samsung, because my second story of the week will be more news about Xiaomi being on a massive roll as well. The company announced their earnings for the last quarter, and pretty much everything is up. Revenue is up by 64% and profits by 87%, and the company now has over 450 million monthly active users of their phones, 370 million of their other tech gadgets, and over 100 million users of their own voice assistant called Xiao AI. Interestingly, of their three divisions, smartphones grew by far the fastest, and IoT and internet services are actually trailing behind quite significantly, meaning that all of those new smartphone users haven't really converted well to ads or paid Xiaomi services yet. But anyway, now that the company is flush with cash, it has started diversifying in earnest and bought up a self-driving car startup called Deep Motion for $77 million, as well as reportedly doubled down on building up a chip design business over the next few years. Those are some really big moves, and talking about chips, my last story of the week will be a brand new chip announced by Tesla. The Dojo D1 was announced during Tesla's AI Day conference, and it's a brand new CPU that is custom built for Tesla's data centers, where the company will use it to train their machine learning models for self-driving software on it. So imagine all of the Teslas driving around and collecting footage, then uploading that back to a Tesla HQ, where all of the footage is run through a fancy computer using Dojo D1s that creates the model that is then given back to the Tesla's onboard computers, which they then use to decide what is another car or another passenger or whatever, and then make decisions about self-driving. This data center part can be thought of as training for the AI, hence why Tesla calls it Dojo, and it was previously done by Tesla on more or less standard NVIDIA GPUs. GPUs are pretty much the industry standard for machine learning, but Tesla has decided to design their own custom solution instead with the D1, which is a highly specialized CPU of sorts, and then the company has created ways for them to be packaged together very efficiently into basically a specialized supercomputer. And the company claims that this will significantly outperform any other chip on the market for these types of workloads. Now, addressing those performance claims is pretty difficult at this point, but Tesla says that they do want to replace all of their NVIDIA GPUs in their data centers with these new chips sometime next year. This is a Tesla deadline, so take it with a bit of grain of salt. But anyway, this would put Tesla into a very interesting strategic position. Tesla has their own chips powering their onboard computers. Soon they will have their own chips for their data centers, and they own basically the entire software layer on top of their cars too, meaning their whole self-driving and AI tech stack will soon be fully in-house and vertically integrated, while pretty much every other car maker in the world will be relying on using off-the-shelf components and software from random suppliers. This would truly put Tesla into the position of being the Apple of the car world, where they own basically every important part of the tech stack, where all the other companies in comparison will become the Android brand of the car world. Oh, and as interesting as the chip is, I think the announcement at the same event of the Tesla bot was pretty much straight up a publicity stunt. Elon said that they would have a working prototype by next year, and its purpose is to do tasks like going shopping. Real humanoid robots, according to most estimates that I could find, are either a decade or a few decades away from being useful, and the fact that their demo was literally a person dressed in a robot suit dancing around like a robot makes it even clearer that this is mostly just one of those Elon PR moves. Alright, and while Elon might sometimes be a little bit unreliable about things like setting up realistic deadlines and projections for his companies, there's one thing I bet he's really good at: backing up his computers. And you should be great at that too. My sponsor, Backblaze, takes the hassle out of backing up your PC or Mac, including automatically syncing up all of your data from your computer for just $6 a month. No gimmicks or hidden fees or anything. You can back up unlimited amounts of data, it is very easy to set up and use, and if you break or lose your computer, you can just download your stuff again, or even ask them to mail you an actual physical hard drive with your data on it overnight for free, as long as you mail it back to them. Backblaze has restored over 50 billion files for consumers already, and they have backed up over an exabyte of consumer data already as well, so they know what they're doing. And if you go to backblaze.com/TFC, which is also in the description below, you can try the full service for free for 15 days, no credit cards required. Give it a try, see if you like it, and if you do, it's time to do your backups. Alright, I'll see you next Friday.